What's going on, beautiful people? I am the Grandmaster, and I also go by D-Ray, bringing you guys my draft analysis for this season of season number 5. This season is season number 5 for season 5 of the BBR. I'm super excited for this. If you guys are too, do me the massive favor and rage fist that thumbs up button. And if you're new, por favor, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, hit the bell button so you get notified every single time we post a new video. The small amount of time it takes for you to hit that like and sub button really truly does help me out a lot, so please take the half second, just check if you're subscribed. I really would appreciate it. I'm a little tired, so I'm kind of slurring over my words a little bit because I just finished the draft stream with OG Albina, and I really would appreciate it if you guys go subscribe to him because he made it so much easier for me to do. And I'm tired, guys. For the past 3 hours we've been doing that draft stream, but I'm gonna do our draft analysis in a stream as well because unfortunately I'm still kind of getting over it now, but I wasn't able to do the draft analysis that I really wanted to. The past couple days I've been really sick, and yesterday was the absolute worst of it, carrying on since like Thursday, so I'm actually barely starting to get my voice back, and it's been kind of rough. So unfortunately I wasn't able to do exactly what I wanted to do with the time that I wanted to do it in. So we're just going to do what we typically do for all draft analysis. I'm going to hang out with you guys, so if you guys talk to me in the chat, I'll be able to answer any questions for you as we break down what we drafted and why we drafted it. Kind of giving you more of a 411 on each Pokemon and my thought process, what happened during the draft, and all that fun jazz. So without further ado, let's just hop right on into what the BBR Season 5 is and what Draft League is in general. So if you guys missed the draft stream, I'll talk about it again. Draft League is basically like fantasy sports. We have some coaches or some players that come in to play in the league, and then we have a draft board of Pokemon, and each Pokemon is valued at a specific point value, and depending on where that coach lands on the actual order is when they get to pick. So on your screen now are all the coaches that are going to be participating for this season. Number 1 overall is going to be Matt O'Shea in the Montreal Milotic, and the very last pick is Jay Bear and the Graveyard. And we have some really cool update for you guys. For those who haven't seen, the battle timer has returned. Yes, we have 60 minutes to play this season per game, which is so huge and so great for the community to see some old faces in Draft League make the return, and it warms my heart to see how the Draft League scene is going to just blow up. Luckily enough, I was able to pull in some resources and to get some old faces that some fan favorites love to see, so I'm very excited to welcome in this season names like Lord Envy and the San Diego Chim Chargers, Numb Nexus and the Pittsburgh Pichus, PokeMD and the Los Angeles Wakers with the brand new team. So a lot of big names that were in the current Draft League scene, along with some old familiar faces. I'm very excited. This season we did drop down to 12 coaches because we're going to be doing all one draft pool. Very excited for it. Unfortunately, we do not have Jack to come on. Jack is gonna he's got himself a little bit busy with some PBA stuff, and so he wants to focus on that as well as a tournament that he's running in the summertime. So we will have Jack for future seasons, so I'm very excited to have our champion back. He did run away last season and is now back-to-back BBR champion, so luckily now this season we have a brand new champion to go up against him for the following future seasons. BBR is not going anywhere, guys. I'm very excited to bring this to you. I am the commissioner of the Breedjects Battle Royale, and this thing is my baby. I love everything about the BBR. I love the community. I love the people in it, and I will do whatever it takes to ensure that this team, this league thrives and steps forward in the light of glory. So very excited to bring to you guys this season. Down in the description below will be a link to all the coaches' channels. Please do me a massive favor and subscribe to all those coaches that are participating, as well as the D-League coaches. This is the first time the BBR has a main division and a D-League, a developmental league, so please ensure that you subscribe to them as well. In the Discord server you can find them all, as well as a chat where we'll post all the videos. I'm very excited for the season. There's a lot going on, all things BBR. Up above my head is the name for the Twitter for the BBR, so make sure you guys follow the BBR Twitter. That would really mean the world to me, and it keeps you guys up to date if you don't have Discord, which is really nice. So as I try to get my voice back, let's go and hop right on into it. Right below me is the actual draft order. We ended up with pick number 9 out of 12, which really freaking sucks. I'm really upset about it. I really wanted to draft Chin Pao, last season in the BBR, we ended up getting Palafin, and it was really torn. I got Palafin at 3rd overall, and I kind of skipped out on getting Chin-Pao. I disrespected how good that Pokemon really was going to be. So I really wanted to hope to see if some stuff would kind of push Chin-Pao in the back, because this is the first season that like things like Cinderace is back, Greninja is back. We just released Iron Leaves and the Walking Wake, so there's 4 Pokemon there that could push Chin-Pao to me at 9. So I was hoping to be able to get it, but unfortunately we didn't. But nonetheless, we still got the equivalent to that Pokemon on the special side, so I was very excited to pick up Chiyu. Chiyu is such a good Pokemon. I really love the big red button Pokemon. Chiyu is that. It comes in with the base 135 special attack and 130 speed stat. And with the Beads of Ruin ability, it basically allows, just by having its presence on the field, it reduces special defense of the opposing Pokemon that takes 30% more from its offensive attacks. So all of a sudden its Dark Pulses and its Flamethrowers really do so much damage. It's got good coverage in Psychic, which is really, really nice, but Chiyu is going to be that Pokemon that's able to come in and really break for this team. It's the Ruin equivalent to Chin-Pao, so at least we got one of the two, right? Now, moving on forward, Iron Leaves was going to be a Pokemon that I really wanted to pair up with this. Typing-wise and offensive-wise, it really does cover it really well, so I wanted to pick it up, and I was hoping that it would fall to me, but I did get sniped by Mr. D-Double, aka Dell, unfortunately, so we weren't able to pick it up, which is fine, though, because we ended up with the mascot, baby. We got Annihilate. Annihilate is going to be our Terra captain this season. We have the Terra typing of Ghost and of Fairy, which is fantastic. It allows us to be a little bit bulkier on the bulk up sets, and the Ghost Terra is allowed to a little bit harder with his Rage Fist, which is really, really nice. So Annihilate is going to be our Terra captain. That's going to be the biggest threat on this team, and being able to pair up with Chin-Pao, I think, is going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm very excited to have it this season. Not only is it the mascot, it's actually my favorite Pokemon of all time. The moment I saw this mon, I thought it was absolutely like gross. I think it's so good, gross in a good way. I think it's the best design Game Freak has ever done, and it was love at first sight, so much so that I had to rebrand to the SoCal Annihilation for it. So I'm very excited to have this. It's a very good Pokemon offensively. It's got good utility with U-Turn and Stealth Rock that some people may not know about it. It's got Final Gambit with a very good 110 base HP stat. Fantastic Pokemon. It's basically Marshadow 2.0 with the Ghost and the Fighting type, and I'm very excited to use it. Next up we have is Grimsnorl. Bear with me, guys, as I kind of get my voice back from the sickness and from the draft stream, but Grimsnarl's here basically to help pair off with Chiyu and with Annihilate to be able to set up those dual screens with Prankster Light Screen and Prankster Reflect, which gives it priority to set those things up. And also got the buff to getting Parting Shot, which is really nice to reduce attack power to get another Pokemon in with some pivot momentum, which is really, really nice. Being able to set up screens with Annihilate to click bulk up and screens for Chiyu to set up Nasty Plot is so freaking clutch. And it's another form for me to be able to control the speed. So it does have access to Prankster Thunder Wave, which is going to be really nice this season. And then Spirit Break, being a fairy type stat move that drops special attack, it just gives it another opportunity for it to get my other Pokemon in safely or with less damage as if it would otherwise. So Grimsnarl is going to pair really well with Annihilate and with Chiyu. Next up, we picked up Donfan. Donfan I ended up skipping out on last season. I did draft it, but I had to drop it because I figured that I needed to use those points for somewhere else. But Donfan fits so well here. I love Donphan. It's a roll compression Pokemon with just one typing, meaning that it's able to run the hazards in one Pokemon. It has access to Stealth Rock and Rapid Spin, so now I have hazards and I have removal. I have Stealth Rock in this Pokemon. I also have Stealth Rock and Annihilate, but Annihilate doesn't always want to run Rock, so I can now do it with Donphan. But don't get this thing twisted. Donphan is a fantastic Pokemon offensively as well. You can catch people off guard very easily with a choice band Donphan with a base 120 attack, and getting those really big earthquakes off could be really clutch this time around. It also has access to knockoff, which is fantastic to get rid of items off my opponent's Pokemon, which is great. Earthquake for stab to hit those Pokemon, and Ice Shard for priority. It gets good coverage. It's a fantastic play rough. It's a good Pokemon. Very good defensive backbone, very good hazard setter, and a good offensive mon. And also in some niche scenarios, I can run heavy duty boots with Sturdy as like an emergency, like don't lose kind of thing. So that's also something that we could do in case there's a setup sweeper in the back that may want to just destroy us. Nonetheless, I have an opportunity to kind of reverse the role there. Next up, we picked up Lycanroc Dusk. Now at this point in the draft, I really wanted to pick up Lycanroc to ensure that I have the speed tier, and it's also another big red button clicker. Having access to Tough Claws, giving it that 30% attack boost to physical moves that make contact is fantastic. So it gives a 30% boost to things like close combat, to crunch, to play rough. It has access to Excel Rock, that's a stab priority move that also gets boosted by Tough Claws. This Pokemon hits so freaking hard. At the 110 base speed stat, it's able to come in and literally clean up a game, or reverse sweep depending on if I can get a Swords Dance up. And since I have Grimsnorl, that makes it a lot easier to do so. It gives me another setup option, gives me a cleaner, gives me a revenger, and also gives me more rocks. So I have 3 Pokemon that are able to set up hazards, because if my opponent is able to take lots of damage in as they switch in, and I can make it a lot easier for me to set up and win with Chiyu, Annihilate, or with Lycanroc. So far so good in regards to like the synergy, what I want to get done in this in games like this. So I like the way this team is going. Now, as we move forward, we have Earthworm. Earthworm was taken here because I needed a steel type, and also I needed to resist to ground type moves. Earthworm has an exclusive ability called Earth Eater, which makes it immune to ground type moves. And it being immune to ground type moves and still being a steel type is absolutely fantastic. So not only is steel type, a pure steel type, the best defensive typing in the game, now I get to remove one of its only 3 weaknesses and only have a weakness to fighting, and fire is so freaking good. It doesn't have access to Shed Tail, which is unfortunate because we did ban it, but we do have access to be able to have its other stuff like Spikes and Stealth Rock to get up with our hazards theme with this game, or with this team I should say. And having access to Iron Defense Body Press sets, heavy slam sets, great Pokemon to just literally chew up hits and then return in momentum, and also be able to bring those hazards up and be immune to ground types is so clutch. Now, as we move forward in the draft, we picked up Quillfish because now fighting types are kind of an issue. We do have Annihilate that is indeed immune to fighting types, and if I tear it to a fairy type, then I do have that resistance, but our fairy type right now also has a dark typing in Grimsnorl, so I wanted to get another fighting resist, as well as being able to get up more hazards, because as you can see, almost everything has hazards on this team. Now we have a second spiker, we have a toxic spiker, so that's going to be really nice for this team. But losing Pain Split really is unfortunate, but Quillfish does what Quillfish always has done, has access to Intimidate, which is fantastic for it, so I really love that aspect to it. Being able to come in and reduce attack is absolutely clutch, and being able to be resistant to fire type moves, which I actually don't really like at this very moment, with paired off with the Earthworm. So Earthworm plus Quillfish is actually a really good defensive core, and being able to just spam that Intimidate is just so clutch. Quillfish is so good. There's one time I played Vepsis, I literally could not do anything against this Pokemon, so I love Quillfish a lot. I think it's a great mon. Now, next up we have is Blissy. I do want to get a little bit into this. So Blissy I picked up because it got sniped. The double actually sniped me again, and so I ended up cutting a deal with him by picking up Mudsdale and trading him for Blissy. The reason I wanted Blissy, as far as I understood, the Chansey line, including Blissy, were the only Pokemon in this generation that got access to Heal Bell. And at that very moment, I was like, damn, Heal Bell is so important for this team, because the best way to defeat Annihilate is set up hazards. We have great hazard control already, and to status it. And because we don't have Misty Terrain, an automatic Misty Terrain setter like Tapu Fini in this generation, Heal Bell is clutch. If I can set up Annihilate and get those Rage Fist boost higher, and then switch it out, if it got burnt, for example, I can switch it in Blissy on maybe like a ghost type move, click Heal Bell, and all of a sudden now I have a healthy Annihilate. But unfortunately, from what I understand, in the Showdown website, you cannot get Heal Bell. It's in the game, it's just not obtainable yet. You can gen it in, but the rules are it has to be obtainable, so I can't use Heal Bell, which sucks. But nonetheless, I'm still going to keep Blissy around. It's still a really good special defensive wall, and it still does what Blissy does. It's still able to come in on some ghost types. It comes in on special attacker, so I'm still going to keep it around because for the point value that it holds, it still holds value on this team. So sucks that it doesn't have heal bell, but nonetheless still a fantastic Pokemon. Next up, we picked up a new mon to me. We have Electros, the mon that has no weaknesses, the electric type with levitate. It's a pure electric type Pokemon that is immune to ground types because of its ability, and great coverage. They gave it access to bulk up this gen, which is actually kind of nice. Yeah, David the Savior says, damn, we really actually do need a Misty Terrain setter. 100% we do. Electros is going to be that really cool mon to blanket check a lot of water types. Electros can switch in on ground types, which is something that I can help out Earthworm with, but Electros is a fantastic Pokemon to get rid of waters because right now I don't really like them. Even though they do take a bunch of damage from Dark Pulse from Chiyu, nonetheless I have another Pokemon that can come in on them easily and spam my electric type moves. I have access to Giga Drain for those mons that have the secondary ground typing like Gastrodon or Quagsire, things like that. So this is a good blanket check to those Pokemon and able to kill those off and have enough damage on them so that way Annihilate or Chiyu can win the game. So great pivot, great mod to get rid of water types. Now as we move into round number 10, Hacksters was my choice to be able to get a Dragon Dance sweeper to pair off with Grimsnorl. You know, to set up screens and literally kick Dragon Dance and sometimes auto win the game is so freaking good, but it doesn't have to get pigeonholed to that role. It also has great sets like Choice Band with First Impression for priority. It also has access to, you can bring it on Life Orb and just be a breaker. 147 base attack is bananas. I feel like Hacksters has been forgotten and it's been slept on, and it's a good point value for us and a good fit for this team. A good Dragon type to be able to spam those Dragon type attacks, and has great coverage and access to Mold Breaker to be able to avoid or ignore Levitate for earthquakes or things like that. Some clutch things that Mold Breaker does well, like Ice Face on Ice Q, it ignores that. It ignores Mimikyu's Disguise, all that fun stuff. Hacksters is a fantastic win con, a great breaker, and a good speed tier at base 97. Again, with that base 147 attack, it's so freaking good. The last pick of the draft, we ended up picking up Barraskewda because we had the points left over for it, and it fills that beautiful speed tier at base 136. Ties up with Iron Bundle. And the main role on this Pokemon is to be the revenge killer. It is the fastest mon on this team. Now we have the 136 speed tier, we have the 110 with Lycanroc, and then we have the 100 with Chiyu, and then staggered on depending on the rest of them. So we are really good on the speed tier aspect of it. So we can just come in and on most matchups run Adamant on Barraskewda and literally pick off weakened Pokemon and win the game. It lost access to Flip Turn, which really freaking sucks, but it's a fish. Like, why don't you let it keep Flip Turn? I don't know. But it still has access to Liquidation, Aqua Jet for priority, gets close combat, Crunch, Ice Fang, Psychic Fangs, great coverage. It's able to just fill that role of being a revenge killer. And since we have Quillfish, we're able to have another water type that can be that sweeper role, and it can also set up Swords Dance if it wants to, if I want to get spicy with it. But the one funny thing is I drafted a lot of fish. If you notice, I have Chiyu, I have Quillfish, I have Barraskewda, and I have Electros. I have 4 fish Pokemon. The fish Pokemon have come to play. But this is a very quick analysis, guys. I wanted to get this going. The stream was because I wasn't able to get that video up because my voice is gone. I'm glad I got through the stream, and I've been very, very sick the past couple of days, unfortunately. So I'm glad I was able to get this analysis up with some of you guys. And thank you so much for the people that ended up watching this live. This will be a VOD on my channel. The battles will be going live every single Sunday, so make sure you stay tuned for that. In the description below, again, will be a link to the Discord server where you can find all the coaches and you can mingle with us and get pinged every single time those coaches post those videos. So grab those roles. Very excited to bring the BBR to you this season. I'm very proud of my baby. I'm so grateful to be the commissioner of the BBR, and I hope you guys really do enjoy this season regardless of anything else. I really want to create a great experience for everybody in draft leagues, so I love every single one of you for the support. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And with that being said, I'm gonna get the heck up out of here. Have a great rest of your day, and above all else, time to recover. Be nice. Peace.